Okay, welcome to Into the Channel podcast, primarily about women's football. Before we hit the pitch, if you enjoy the show or love women's football as much as your boys do, come kick it with us. We are doing it every single week, sometimes twice a week, spanning the wide world of women's football. This week, we are back home, stateside, talking a little NWSL midweek, after dark, whatever you want to call it. All the hashtags, throw them all in there. Subscribe, follow YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you like to watch or listen at ITC_pod on X. I am your host, Dino DeCespedes, and as always, I am joined by my co-host, Seattle Reign beat reporter, Manchester City beat reporter, part-time, working his way up to full-time, Mr. Grant Engel. What is up, man?
I'm feeling great, buddy. It's a hell of a commute out there to Manchester. I will say it took me a little bit to recover, but, I'm not scared of it. I'm happy to be home. Caught the Reign current match on Wednesday, as we will discuss, which means I attended 3 football matches, I think, in the span of like 4 days. So that's a pretty good ratio in my view. I think it's about what I'd like to do for a living. Not quite there yet, but yeah, feeling absolutely fantastic. So good, in fact, I might as well just crack this baby now.
Let's go. I'm going to join you.
Oh, let's go.
No load management here at the ITC.
You know what? A little drink, talking some football, never hurt anybody.
Not in the slightest. All right. Let's kick things off. Mr. Grant Engel, where does Drake go from here? No, I'm just kidding. Where do you want to get started?
Let's go to Houston. Home of Jay Prince, speaking of Drake. Not sure how he's absorbing this, by the way. But we'll skip past that. That's another podcast, I think.
He might now watch the show, so I think we're good.
Should be fine. Let's talk about Gotham FC. I figure we'll go in order of the Wednesday slate, the midweek slate for the NWSL. Houston -0, Gotham FC 1. Gotham FC picks up their second consecutive win. They're making their way back up the table on the strength of a Lynn Williams goal early in the match, and then they just kind of held on from there. I just want to talk a little bit about the big picture with Gotham. I felt like that sequence leading up to the goal and the substitutions that they made later at like around the 76th minute looked exactly how we expected Gotham to look when they made those high-profile signings. I thought Crystal Dunn played really well in the midfield. Jenna Neiswanger was serving in great passes into dangerous areas, starting the offense from the back line. Esther looked like a good number 9. She was kind of getting back, being a part of the build-up play. Lynn Williams looked like your expert winger out there causing chaos and, of course, getting the goal. And then when they brought on that trio of subs, they showed off their incredible depth. They bring on Rose Lavelle, Bruninia, and Yasmin Ryan. And they still have that depth even after losing Midge Purse to a season-ending injury. So it's taking a little while, but it feels like the Gotham Death Machine is kind of starting to get ramped up here.
I feel like Death Machine might be a little strong.
Maybe.
So we're still a little early. I'm just looking at some stats here. Obviously, the 7 matches in. They're still at 5 goals for, 5 goals against. 7 matches. So let's work our way up to Death Machine.
That's fair.
Their 3 wins on the season, all of the 1-0 variety. So, they're not exactly blowing the doors off. But I wouldn't be surprised. I didn't go back and check this, but I wouldn't be surprised if they haven't trotted out the same lineup in any of these matches, in any of the 7 matches.
Yeah.
And, a championship team, a team with championship DNA, they might just be treating this as, like a little bit of an extended preseason, saying, hey, we know where we want to be when it comes time. And as long as we're trending in that direction, I think we're happy. Yeah. So I think results-wise, what are they? Okay, 2 wins in a row, and then just the 1 loss in their last 5.
Yep.
I want to say that was probably their best performance of the season.
Yeah.
Obviously, midweek, so, the team with the depth has a big-time advantage, right?
Yeah.
Houston's not the deepest side, but when you've got to go 3 matches in 8 days or 9 days and 2 matches in 4 or 5 days, that depth plays a huge factor. But I think still, they're on the road. Gotham is traveling to Houston, and solid performance end to end. I think they looked dangerous, not all the way clinical in the final third, but I think they had the match pretty well in control. So yeah, I think I'd rank that pretty close to maybe their best performance this season.
Yeah, that's a great point. And calling it like an extended preseason, I think that all makes a lot of sense for them, kind of figuring some stuff out as they go along. Thinking about our newly adopted Houston Dash.
Yep.
The attack looks a little aimless, I think. They've scored 3 goals in their past 5 matches.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the bright side is they only needed one of those to get a draw against top-of-the-table Kansas City in that kind of wild weather delay game last week. I was in England for that one, but I caught some of it. I also flipped it on NWSL, and it was just showing the rainy pitch and saying matches in a weather delay. And then I went back and checked an hour later, and it was the same view of the pitch. And I was like, "Oh wait, did it freeze? Let me just do it again." But nope, so match was still in a weather delay. But yeah, it just felt like with Houston, a lot of time passing the ball around in their own half of the field, and Diana Ordonez just like kind of has nowhere to go with the ball, and she's their most threatening scorer. She has 3 goals on the season, their leading scorer. It just didn't feel like she had anywhere to go in this one.
Yeah, I was kind of looking to Alozier to, try to provide a little bit more on the other side, but it kind of felt like it was always like a 1-on-4 or 1-on-5.
Exactly.
Either whoever had the ball was trying to make something happen with it. Just not a lot of organization, not a lot of support on offense.
Yep.
They did get a pretty decent chance late-ish in the match.
Oh yeah,
they weren't able to convert, but yeah, definitely gonna have to figure some stuff out in Houston. The current approach not working. They look to be trending towards maybe like a bottom 2, bottom 3 team based on, I think, what we're seeing.
That's a good point about the chance they did have. I mean, it would have been pretty devastating for Gotham. But, that's why Gotham signed Anna Katrin Berger. That was a great kick save that she made. I think that was Houston's Canadian center back, Sophie Schmidt.
Mm-hmm.
She takes the ball from a bad giveaway by Delaney Sheehan. Just a real heavy touch, like near her own 18. Ball falls to Schmidt, and Berger with the kick save. Saw plenty of those at Chelsea Football Club. So she preserved the 3 points for the Bats. Yep. And, they're sitting in playoff position. And, yeah, Houston trending the wrong direction. But we're not giving up that easily on our Dash. They can turn the corner.
Yeah, definitely not. No Tarsiana yet. We've talked a lot about Gotham maybe looking out of rhythm. I thought it was interesting on the goal that they did score, the one where Neiswanger gets it into Ella Stevens. Mm-hmm. She gets a crack at it. The rebound finds Lynn Williams, and she just kind of knocks it in. On that play, if you watch Esther, she's sort of like in the mix and then kind of floating back a little bit while the ball is kind of pinging around, and at the same time drawing some defensive attention, because it did look like, wow, Lynn Williams just standing, like just felt like there was 2 players that were mostly unmarked, and that ends up being the difference in the game. So I'm kind of expecting, after a really slow start from that Gotham side, things starting to gel a little bit as they start to build some of that chemistry. And I think that play really kind of encapsulated maybe what we could be expecting just as they get into a rhythm collectively as a squad.
Yeah, for sure. And they're going to need it, because next up, the Bats travel to San Diego to take on last year's Shield winners. So we have the title holders versus the Shield winners, a replay of the Challenge Cup for an opening match of this season, in the primetime Sunday match on ION. So I'll be tuned into that.
I like it.
Even with San Diego, it'll be interesting, even if you just want to watch San Diego, to see who's going to play for them. I think that's going to be interesting in itself. And what's next for the old Houston Dash? They're also going to California for a Sunday match. They'll be playing Angel City FC. Angel City, of course, they've won 3 of their last 4. So the tough challenges continue for Houston. But in the Chaos League, if Houston wins that match 1-0 or wins it 2-1, are we even allowed to be that surprised?
I mean, I think it'd be a bit of a surprise, going to Angel City. Obviously, like I might not have been super surprised if they drew Gotham at home or even squeaked out a 1-0 win. Obviously, the chances were there. But you do look at the shot count. Gotham 19, Houston 3.
That's tough
to win that way. And Angel City, they're on their revenge tour, trying to make me look bad after I kind of called them out and had them in my either bottom or second to bottom tier. So shout out to them for starting to get cooking.
That's fair. Well, shout out to you for motivating them. That's the lens I choose to see it through.
That's right. They're letting their haters be their motivators. All right, let's go ahead.